Hi everyone, I'm Deanne from Newfoundland, Canada. Welcome to my floss tube Stitching on the Rock, and it is my 4th Flossaversary WIP Parade. Wow, where has the last 4 years gone? It amazes me. Welcome if you're just finding me from my WIP Parade. I'm so glad that you decided to check me out, and I hope that you will hit that subscribe button. And for everybody else, welcome back. Have a seat, get a drink. My flavored water. It's gonna be a little bit of a longer one, obviously, because I'm showing you everything that I stitched on in 2025-ish. I'll explain a little bit. I have a few minor stats. I'm not a big stat person. I know a lot of people really enjoy it, but I'm going to try better this year. It's my goal for my stitching and my floss tube to keep better track of before pictures and number of stitches and those types of things. So I just have a little bit. I went into 2025 with 12 WIPs. 11 of those, 10 of those were full coverage. I UFO'd one project. It is Home for Christmas by Donna Gelsinger. I'll put a picture up there so you can see which piece it was. When I purchased it, they didn't have a mini version, they just had a regular version, so I started that and I was 2, maybe 3% into it, and I just felt like I was getting nowhere with it with all the stitches that I was putting in it, so I decided to UFO it. I love the piece. I'm trying to cut down on my full coverages this year. Maybe at some point in the future I will buy the mini version and stitch that because I really like it. But the good news is with the fabric that I had, I was able to stitch on 3 other projects using the piece of fabric that I had for that one piece. So that was good. Then in 2025 I started 55 projects. If you've been around for a while, you know that I did a birthday challenge. I turned 55 last year, and so I started 55 projects. I UFO'd one of those, which is, I'll put up a picture, it's Arctic Blast by Carolyn Manning. It was a freebie from her Facebook group. I love the piece. I hated the piece of fabric that I was stitching it on. It was a pre-packaged piece of fabric that I bought from an Etsy store. It felt like plastic canvas. One of my local friends, said she had a piece, and it reminded her of like window screen. It was awful. So I will probably restart that at a point in the future. Of the 55 projects, I finished 23 of them. So I am going into 2026 with 42 WIPs, which, considering I started 55 last year and I had brought some forward, that wasn't too bad, I didn't think. So we're gonna get started. I tried my best to put them in chronological order from starting, so all the full coverage will be up front, and keep an eye on the full coverage because since it's my Flossaversary, I have some giveaways at the end, and I'm going to ask you to vote on the full coverage piece that I should have as a focus piece once my current focus piece is finished. So I'm currently have a focus full coverage, which I'll mention along the way. If you've been here, you know which one it is. So I'm trying to focus on a full coverage and get a couple finished this year, maybe 3 if they're smaller ones. And I do have mostly minis and quick stitches, so I should, other than the one I started last year, which will not be one of your choices, it's the older ones that are up for voting on. So I'm going to put up pictures of my full coverage of what they are going to look like when they're finished. I may have to take a break partway through because I have a big bin full of WIPs, but that's not all of them. Okay, let's get started. So first up is Mini Hometown Hero Baseball by Donna Gelsinger, and all my full coverage are Heaven and Earth Designs. All my full coverage are stitch 1/1 on 28 count, in case I forget to mention that. So picture of what it's going to look like when it's done. I started this January 28th, 2022. It's stitched on sapphire blue even weave. They're all 28 even weave. So here is where we are right now. Oh, my card. So as of today, I put in 9,746 stitches out of 84,500 stitches, and I'm at 11.53%. So here we are. So my oldest WIP, which will be 4 years old this month. So really love baseball. If you're not new, you know that. If you're new, I'm a big Blue Jay fan, but I've been struggling with this one, even though I really love it. And I need to, I think it's my oldest WIP, but it's up to you if you want to vote on it. Oh, you see, I don't know. I guess I'm getting all of it in the picture. I never checked to see. Yeah, I'll have to go back in the bags, because usually after my regular videos I have a pile of stuff that I have to put away. Today I'm going to try and at least get them all in their project bags when we're done. Next up we have Quick Stitch with Snowflake Wonder by Lisa Victoria. Here's a picture of what it will look like when it's done. I started this February 3rd, 2022, and as of today I have 12,916 stitches out of 40,725, which means I'm at 31.72%. It's stitched, actually this one is stitched 2 over 2 because it's a very small one compared to the others. It's 2 over 2 on ice blue. Here is where we are. Lots of dark blue in the background. The little dinosaur is really cute. I love the snowflake and yeah, lots of blue in the background. So, in a little closer so you can see up close. Next we have Quick Stitch Color Expansion Pride and Prejudice by Amy Stewart, which is part of her Heroes and Heroines shelf. And I started this April 9th, 2022. As of today, I have 18,233 out of 114,000 stitches, which means I'm at 15.97%, and this is stitched on 1 over 1 on it's just called blue. This one I'm kind of all over the place, and I have a hanging thread. Sorry. So here we are on this one. So yeah, you can see this is where Darcy and Elizabeth are. No faces yet, but his shirt is there, her coat, and then part of her dress is there. Pride and Prejudice is one of my favorite books, and I started another part of this shelf this year on my other favorite book. I'll show you later on. Now this is the only, one of 2 WIPs that I brought into this year that aren't full coverage. And this one was actually on hold most of last year because I didn't have any thread. I ran out of, when I purchased the thread, which is Brin and Nettles Belle Island Ore, I only purchased 1 skein, not knowing what I was going to stitch it with, and I ran into some trouble in this piece and ran out of thread, and Then they were having problems with their dyer, but I actually have thread to continue on with it. So it is a spirited mandala by Ink Circles. Now it is available from Ink Circles, but I started it out of a Just Cross Stitch Halloween collection from 2011. And it is this piece right here, which is very cool, and I have seen other people stitching it. Like I said, it is available as a pattern. So I started it on August 26, 2022 on an unknown opalescent orange. And here is where I am. I was just looking at which part was the top. You know, mandalas is hard to figure out, but I do have the top left corner completed. So it's really, really cool, and I really, really love the thread, and I'm glad that I have some more so I can get back at it. And I bought 2 skeins, so I definitely won't run out, and I'm anxious to get back at that. Next we have, another non-fold coverage. This is, I don't have a card in with it. Oh yes I do, sorry, it's all wrapped up in pattern. This is Little Things Sampler by Stitches Through the Years, and let me see, I'm not sure that I have a cover page. No, I don't have a cover page, so I will stick up a picture of what it's supposed to look like. I started this February 26, 2023, and stitched on 36 count light mocha. And it's very wrinkly. This is a very wrinkly fabric, and I converted it to my own threads. I just looked at the pattern and looked at the cauliflower, and then looked at my stash and pulled out colors that I thought matched pretty good. So my colors, I can go through them. So I am using Weeks Dye Works Whiskey. I'm using Gentle Arts Wood Smoke. I'm using Brennan Nettle Old Hag. I'm using Gentle Arts Brethren Blue. I'm using Weeks Dye Works Taupe. I'm using Gentle Arts Storm. I'm using Weeks Dye Works Hazelnut. I'm using Gentle Arts Cider Mill Brown. I'm using DMC 422, which is called for. I am using Gentle Arts Pecan. I'm using Weeks Dye Works Molasses. And I'm using Gentle Arts Oatmeal. And lastly, Weeks Dye Works Bark. So they kind of went back and forth from one to the other. I didn't plan that. So here's where I am. Sorry about the wrinkles. This is a very wrinkly fabric. So I have completed the border all the way down. There's a big band at the bottom, so the border doesn't go across the bottom. And I have done some of the line that goes under the border, and then just started a little bit right there. And I should get back at this because it is a beautiful, and the sentiment on it is beautiful. And hopefully I have it in my list of working on this year. Excuse me. And so hopefully I will get some progress on it. Sorry. Next up is my focus full coverage. So you are not voting on this one because this is my focus right now. It is River's Edge by Kevin Daniel. It is I started it March 11th, 2023. It's stitched on Lichen Gray. And this is for my son. And it's a plan to have it finished for his birthday at the end of July. Hopefully framed for his birthday, but at least the stitching is finished. And as of today, I have stitched 39,926 out of 80,500. I am at 49.60%. It will hit the 50% today. And here is where we are. So I've told before that I love stitching on it. I love watching the ducks and everything come to life on it. But other than like here where it's mostly white, and down here under the ducks, where you can see I've started a little bit over on this side of the white. There's a big section of white, or well, it's 3865, which is off white. It is confetti stitching. 90 to 95% confetti stitching. That is the only chunks of stitching of the same color, and it's white. So it's not exactly a quick stitch, I guess, say that, because you don't want to see the back. There's a lot of running, because if not, you'd be cutting your thread every 2 or 3 stitches. But it will be done this year. So our next one is Mini Almost Winter by Leonid Afremov. I started this May 1st, 2023. My May in 2023 was a full coverage May, so I started at like 4 or 5. It is stitched on 28 count Star Sapphire, and as of today I have got 11,735 stitches out of 69,875. So I am at 16.79%. And oh my goodness, there's threads everywhere on this one on the back. So here's where we are on this one. It's a cool one, a lot of black, but different from his really bright multicolored ones. The colors on this are definitely more muted. Of course, it's almost winter, so the trees are pretty much done on this side, and started on the trees on this side. So this one is an option for you to vote on. Next we have my birthday star from 2023, which is Queen of Hearts by Rachel Anderson. This is my largest piece. I say that this will never be finished in my lifetime. We shall see. I started it May 11th on 2023, and it is stitched on 28 count Dahlia. As of today, I have 12,677 out of 317,500. So yeah, it's a big one, but it is open for a vote. I'm not going to limit you. Please ignore my hanging thread. So here is where we are. I started in the corner with the background. See, if I had been smart when I bought this, I would have bought it without a background and then done it on a beautiful hand-dyed fabric. But all I saw was a lady in a white background, and thought that looks so weird. Not thinking that that was just the mock-up of the PDF. But anyway, here we are. So started in the background and then kind of stitched my way over to her, and she's looking quite alien there. But this is what I have done. Now, if this gets the most votes for me to focus on, I'm not going to be attempting to finish her. It's not going to happen. I will pick a percentage and focus on getting to that percentage. Oh, did I tell you that I was at 3.99%? So maybe I could say, oh, let's get to 10%. I focus on her. Next we have Mini Beachcomber Bounty by Amy Stewart. Started May 14th, 2023, and it is stitched on aquamarine. And I keep forgetting to say I'm going to put up, but you know I'm going to put up a picture. As of today, I have 9,147 stitches out of 75,400. I'm at 12.13%. I love going looking for sea glass, and this one just called to me and thought this would be perfect. So here is where I am. So I started in the left corner and then worked my way down to some of the sand, and then decided to see how big the piece was actually going to be, so I worked my way over to the other corner. So that's where it is. So, of course, this one is open for a vote. And my final full coverage, well, I guess the last one is technically a full coverage, but there is some open space. Anyway, we'll get to that one in a second. But the last one I consider full coverage is Mini Warm at Home by Irina Gamashova. I always pronounce her name wrong. Gamashova. Gamashova. I think I always say Garshimov, but I don't think there's an R in there. Anyway, it was started May 23rd, 2023. It is stitched on ivory, and as of today I have 9,562 stitches out of 68,575, which gives me 13.94%. This is got like 13 colors in it, like it's, I always leave my thread where I left off, but here is where I am. So you can kind of see the whiskers or the fur of the cat coming in here, and it is so sweet. We have a cat, Kitty, and she's multicolored, brown and orange and black and white, and finding a cat that matches her coloring is impossible. So I thought, doing a black and white picture, the cat can be whatever color you want. So there's that one, and that's my last option for a vote. So we have Small Town Hero Baseball, we have Snowflake Wonder, we have Pride and Prejudice, we have Beachcomber Bounty, we have Queen of Hearts, we have Warm at Home, and we have, that's it. One, two, three, 4, 5, yeah, six. And then my final WIP that I brought into this year is my Quaker Canada flag, which I restarted. And I know I had about 25% done, and it's crazy to restart it, but you heard this, if you're not new here, you've heard the story of my Quaker flag, or if you've been around for a while. I started it as a part of the Stitch Along January 4th, 2024, and it was from Vivian Power, the Visters on Etsy. It was done with DMC, it was done with a red and a pale gray, and I didn't want the gray in the Canadian flag, and I picked sulky thread to do it. Red and a white, and I got all the first red section of the Canadian flag done, and then I started on the white, and I was doing it on white fabric, and you couldn't see the white. I could barely see it here. You couldn't see it on the video at all, and on pictures it didn't show up. So the more I looked at it, the more I didn't really want to do that because it wasn't showing up very nice. I had enough fabric left of the piece I was working on to be able to stitch it again. So I dipped it in pearl gray brick dye. I didn't want it gray. And I have since started again, but instead of going down the red, I have kind of done half motifs, or the top edge of the motif, to get over to the white, and I've only started on the motif that's half red and half white. So I haven't stitched enough white to determine if I'm going to continue stitching it on this, because I can't tell if I can see the white well enough. So this is what I have done. As of now, I have 576 stitches done. I didn't even write down the percentage, it wasn't worth it. It's 48,382 in total. Like I said, I started it January 4th, 2024, and I restarted it December of 2025, and it's 1/1 on 28 count, even weave, using sulky, and here is where I am. Now I can't even tell if, I don't even know if you guys can see that little bit of white. It's only right here. I need to do more before I decide if I'm continuing or scrapping it again. I did see a beautiful hand dyed by Rolanda gray that I thought it would look beautiful on, but I'm going to do a little bit more, like finish this half and maybe do another like top of a white to decide. And it shows up, I can't really tell if it shows up as well on the screen. It shows up better in person than the other one did, the white on white, but we'll see. So that is that, and that is all of my previous to 2025 WIPs, and I'm just gonna pause because I have enough room in my basket now to pull up the rest of the WIPs from the floor and I'll be right back. Okay, so like I said, in 2025 I started 55 projects, so I have 23 of them to go through. So first up we have started on January 22nd, 2025, was a Palo Vaughn. I used to stitch a lot of Palo Vaughn in the 90s, early 90s. This is from Quilts for All Season book, a book that I have never stitched a project out of, so I decided I was going to do one. And since I was starting it in January, I started with the January quilt. I did see these, I don't know if it was these, it was one of her books that someone had stitched all 12 of them and then turned them into a quilt, like each cross stitch was a panel on the front of the quilt, and I thought that was a really cool idea, except the July one is very American and I'm not sure I could make it Canadian. It's too bad because July is Erin's birthday, so I probably would have picked that one to stitch anyway. I might be able to. I could probably change those 3 American flags into Canadian flags. Anyway, it's not going to happen this year. But I thought the quilt out of them all was really cool. So this is stitched 2/2 on a 28 count white even weave. I'm into the curtain, which is the kind of boring part of the design, but I'm determined that I'm going to get that curtain finished before I move on to the rest of it. And actually this is my piece to stitch on today, so I will be getting some work done on that curtain. I'm actually going to put that one aside so I know that I'm stitching on that today. Next up we have I started on February 20th, 2025. We have Seasons in Chalk Spring, which came from the April 2016 Just Cross Stitch magazine, and it's by Priscilla Blaine and Kathy Haberman. And I am stitching it 2/2 28 count Monaco that I dyed charcoal gray, and I'm using the call for colors, which are beautifully spring, and will be great in warm temperatures. Oh, speaking of warm temperatures, we got up to 16 degrees Celsius yesterday. We were hotter than Tampa and Orlando. 16 Celsius is, I think, about 64 Fahrenheit if I did my calculations right. The problem is that we had the most wicked wind and rain with it, so it wasn't a day to get out and enjoy. Now today is a beautiful sunny day, but it's much colder today. But anyway, here is where I am on it. There's a mistake in it somewhere, which I can't figure out where, but I'm going with it the way it is. But in the magazine, it does not suggest that you need more than one skein of any of the colors, but I have gone through one skein of chalk, and I don't even think I'm halfway through. And the pink, it is tea rose. I'm not thinking I'm gonna get through the whole pattern with that left when I have to do all the letters plus all the flowers around the other two sides, two and a bit sides. So I'll probably be ordering another tea rose. Next we have another magazine piece. This is Sunshine Bouquet, which is from Cross Stitch and Country Crafts, July-August 1992. I saw this on someone's Instagram and loved it. I'm a sunflower fan. And if I asked my local friends if anybody had the magazine, and one of them did, and Patty, and she copied it for me. This was started March 19th, 2025, and it's done 2/2 on a 28 count taupe. I did make a change. First of all, I will show you. Here we are. I think I need something to go behind this, so let's bring it in. So here is where we are right now. Really enjoying it. I need to get into. I have my list, my schedule of which WIPs I'm going to work on in each month. So I will get to this in a later time. The change I made was there were some specialty stitches in the center of the sunflowers, and I just cross stitched them. I thought that was just fine. So yeah, lots of fun doing this one. Next we have one of my favorite pieces that I'm stitching on this year. I love them all, but this is particularly one of my favorites. This is Always Remember by Plum Street Samplers. This piece right here, and it was started April 19th, 2025. I'm making changes to this as well. I like to say Canadianifying it, or Canadianifying it, whatever. I'm taking the eagles out. So the 3 eagles are coming out. I'm going to put in a flower here and a flower there. I changed the American flag to a Canadian flag. And I've been contemplating, you all know this, changing the words from "We will always remember" to "In Flanders Fields," because when I think of Remembrance Day here in Canada, that's the first line that comes to mind. But I haven't gotten to any of that yet. So this is stitched 1/2 on 36 count, and it didn't have a name. It was just a blue-gray, I think. I bought it when I was at Gita's, and when they filled out the little text, they didn't put names on any of the fabrics. So here is where I am right now. So got the flowers all done down to where the eagle is right here. Yes. And oh, there's one little bud that comes up here that I haven't done. So I have to figure out which flower I'm going to put there. And then I'm working on, got the Canadian flag put in. I'm working on the house. I'm working on the grass, mostly, since I've worked on it recently. Don't know if it will be finished for this Remembrance Day, but definitely for next one. And I'm using all the called for floss for that, which is Classic Colorworks Eggshell, Classic Colorworks Used Brick, Classic Colorworks Red Clay, and Classic Colorworks Nature Trail, Mixed Dye Works Cayenne, Mixed Dye Works Lily Pad, and Mixed Dye Works Tatanka, is that how you pronounce it? Something like that. we have Season's Greetings or Christmas Wreath, one or the other, by Emma Condon, Stitchrovia. It was called Season's Greetings in the magazine. I saw it in first, and then on her Etsy she calls it Christmas Wreath, and it was started April 23rd, 2025. Oh, upside down. Here we are. This is what it looks like. This one goes into Pattern Keeper. So as of today, I have 16,715 out of, oh, that's not right. 16,465. I think that I missed, well, anyway, there's 16,465 stitches. And I didn't even write down the percentage, sorry. I think I'm about 10% maybe. Here is where I am on it right now. So this was my WIP Go, one of my WIP Go calls this month, and I put 250 stitches in it for that. But I will, for my regular video next week, I will have the percentage to where I am on it. Next we have, by Jeanette Douglas, we have Atlantic Seaboard, which is part of the Canadian Journey series. This is the second one. I finished the fleur-de-lis one. I started this April 30th, 2025. And this is the piece. So I have all the Canadian Journey designs, working my way across the country. I don't know why I started with fleur-de-lis and then went east instead of starting with this one, but it is what it is. It's stitched 2/2 on 28 count antique white. There are some specialty stitches, so it's hard to say that it's actually stitched 2/2, but here is where we are with it. So I have the top Anne of Green Gables done, Anne of Green Gables house done, and this row represents Anne's freckles. So looking forward to getting back to this as well. I'm looking forward to getting back to all of these early ones that I never really stitched much on after. Some of them I did, some of them I didn't. It just depended on how the mood hit me and what the start I was doing that week was, and next up we have my birthday start for 2025, which is another favorite of mine, and I'm desperate to get back to it. I absolutely love it. A friend of mine sent me a Home for the Holidays book last year, maybe the year before, not 2025, 2024 I think, and I knew as soon like this was going to be the piece I'm stitching up. So it is 'Tis the Season by Blackbird Designs, my one of my all-time favorite cross stitch patterns. So I am stitching it 2/2 on a 32 count. Another piece I got at Gita's that didn't have a name. It's kind of an oatmeal-y kind of color. I converted it because I just couldn't do the silks with all my starts, so I converted it to my own. I am doing a silk for the bird, for the cardinal. I am using Threadworks, and it is number 1089, and it is a variegated red, and it's absolutely gorgeous, and I love stitching with it. The others I converted to Classic Colorworks because it's called for Belle Soie. Is it Belle Soie? The silk that Classic Colorworks uses. Yeah, the Belle Soie. So I thought the cotton would work, and I did pretty good with matching them up, I think. So I'm using Mariner's Compass, English Ivy, Khaki Mocha, Gingerbread, bee pod, baking tin, and the one I don't have is one for the beak and the leg and the feet, because I already finished all that, so I put that with my other threads, and it is candy corn, but that goes from an orange to a yellow, so I only use the orange portion. And here is where I am. The cardinal is finished. I absolutely love it. It is gorgeous, and I am working my way around with the leaves and that, and this I hope to have done by Christmas of 2026. We will see. But it's such an easy stitch, and it's fun, and it's stitching pretty quickly. And that is that one. Next we have For You by Teresa Kogut. This was a pattern that I won from Ellen Daly, the East Coast Crafter. Oh, he is so cute. Did not spend a lot of time on him, but I will get back to him. This was started May 14th, and it's stitched 2/2 on a 28 count taupe linen. And to the call for DMC, and then the Week Dye Works Indian Summer and Rum Raisin. And is there another one? Nope, those are the only two. And so I got a thread hanging. I got the frame done, and now I'm starting on the sheep down here in the corner. He's got about the same colors as the curtain in the Balaban, so a little bit slower going on him, but it'll get done. Next we have another favorite, Christmas piece. All my favorites seem to be the Christmas pieces, I think. This is Woodland Piece, and it's from February 1993, Leisure Arts Cross Stitch magazine. This piece, I have seen some interesting variations of this. I've seen a piece that apparently they put out in the 2000s that took, I think, this section out, and it was smaller, and then I saw someone do this, I think it was this section in blue. It was either this section or this section done in blue, and yeah, it was, I've seen some variations of it recently. So I'm stitching it, or I started it on May 21st, 2025. I'm stitching it 2/2 on a 28 count natural linen, and I am using the DMC variegated thread 115. No, I have another one, so this is what I have left of the one I'm using. Thankfully I have another skein of it, and here is where we are. So I have just the lower section with the cabin and the trees and the two people, so there's just this section right here to finish. And it is a lot of fun to stitch with the variegation. I kind of wish the variegation was a little bit closer together, like there's usually a big section of each color before it changes. And I've also heard that that thread is being discontinued, so that's too bad. Smaller ones next. Oops, I missed card. I gotta put the cards back and make sure they don't get lost, or I will forget some information. Next we have my TARDIS piece, which is a fun little stitch from Nerdy Needle Design Co. on Etsy. It was started May 28th, 2025, and it's like a pink and purple watercolory TARDIS, because I love Doctor Who, or I love the beginning of the new Who, 9, 10, 11, and 12 were I really enjoyed it in that section of the show. This is stitched 2/2 on a 28 count Monaco. It goes into Pattern Keeper, and as of today I have 1,231 stitches out of 10,769, so I am at 11.46%, and this is what I have done of it, which is just the top section. Need to get back to all. I will. I've got a full year to stitch on all of them. So that's that one. It's really cool, the reds and the pinks. Not the colors that I was expecting when I started it, but I like the way it's looking. So you can see over here. I like Doctor Who. I get quite a few comments from my picture there. It is a local photographer, and the street is George Street here in town, which is or it was at one point the most bars per square mile, square something in North America. It's like our bar street, and so he took a photo of it, and then he digitally manipulated it to put the TARDIS sitting on that street, which is really cool. And he does a lot of things like that. Like he has a picture of Godzilla coming in through our harbor, the entrance to our harbor. There's pictures of Deadpool standing on in a spot in our downtown and things like that. So really cool. Next we have Spring Dream Sampler by Studio HMP on Etsy. And it's this one here, which I first saw, I think, on Rose Crafty Corner, a floss tube from Rolanda and Kylie in Australia. And I really like the look of it, so I went and purchased it. And I started it June 11th, 2025, and I'm stitching it 1/1 on a piece of 28 count taupe even weave, and I have the border finished, and if I'm not mistaken, this is the top. So the border is all finished. I just have to get in and do the little case, whatever you call that, with the birds inside and that. So this one I think is coming up soon. Next we have my Blue Jays Gnome by Neni, N-E-N-I Design Craft, and this was started June 18th on a 2/2 on a 28 count of piece of Monaco. For those of you who don't know, Bob Bichette was signed by the Mets, so he won't be back to Toronto. So this one has a needle. I never leave a needle in a piece. I have a tendency to stab myself, so they usually leave. So this one goes into Pattern Keeper, and as of today I have 1,501 stitches out of 4,895, so I'm at 30.66%. And here he is. He's got a nose and half a hat. I will be bringing this out next month because spring training starts, and so as soon as, well, maybe March, whenever the games start on TV, this one will be brought up to work on. We have The Needle Worker by Cottage Garden Samplings, which is this piece here. It was started July 2nd, 2025. It's done 1/2 on a piece of 36 count. I don't remember the name of it. Summer Khaki, I believe. Something like that. I did not get a lot of work done on this piece, and I think it was because I started it in July, and to me it's a snowman, which means it's a winter piece, which means I should be stitching on it this month, but I'm not. But anyway, here's where I got with it. Just his hat and a little bit of fur down his cloak. And this one only calls for 2 specialty threads. So it is Weeks Dye Works Baked Apple and Grapefruit. So, let's see if I can get back into the swing. I kind of also hemmed and hawed about leaving out the little motifs around. That's not really my style of just floating things. I may just do the character. We will see. Long way to go before I have to make that decision. Now, next we have, and I'm afraid my pile is getting high and is going to tip over, from Darlene Dion, All Roads Lead to, I don't know if it's All Roads Lead or All Roads Lead to the Stitchy Shop. It was started July 9th, 2026. And my cover sheet is very wrinkly, but this is the piece. Really cute. And houses. This was a piece, along with the other Darlene Dion design that I started and finished. I Heard the Bells. This is the fabric from Home for Christmas. So I made some changes on the houses, and I haven't got a whole lot done on it, but so I've got the body part of 3 houses and started on another one, and I changed, which one did I change? I think I changed this house here. It was a lighter color brown, and I wanted them all to be, and I possibly have changed this color. I'm not 100% sure. I guess I'll find out when I get back to it. I wanted them all to be like the same tone of color or whatever. Like, I didn't want dark ones and light ones. I wanted them all to be about the same level of color. So I think this is 435, and I think it was supposed to be 437. And I'm holding off on the doors as well. I may change some of the door colors. We'll see. And possibly car colors, because I would like to have my car on it. I have a bright blue car, so I think, and it's a smaller car, so I think this red car may become my car. We'll see. So that's that one. Next we have a piece I started on Erin's birthday, July 28th, 2025. Oh no, sorry, it's not. Wrong bag. I saw a space bag, but his piece is in the Roblox bag. This is Partridge and Pear by Pigeon Coop Designs, and it was started July 16th, 2025, and it's done 2/2 on a 28 count piece of white even weave. Yeah, so here is where I am. Oh, you didn't see the cover page. Sorry. This is what it's supposed to look like. And this is where I am. The last time I worked on it, I had almost all of the yellow done in the pear, and then discovered a mistake, so I had to frog. So, not much done on it. Definitely need to work on it. I plan to do Christmas in July, so all of my pieces, Christmas pieces, will come out in July. This is Erin's piece for his birthday. Well, it's not Erin's piece, it's for me, but it was a fun piece, and I said I'm going to start that on Erin's birthday, because with 55 I needed 3 extra pieces instead of just 1 a week. I did my birthday, Erin's birthday, and Christmas Day. So this is North American House Flower. And it was started July 28th, 2025. I am doing it to 1/2 on 32 count Peppermint Knob by Brennan Nettle with Brennan Nettle thread. Here is where he is first. I love this fabric, Peppermint Knob. And there's going to be enough left, I'm sure, because it's to do another piece, and I actually have a piece in mind. I just have to look at whether the colors will work on this fabric. Oh, here he is. So it goes into Pattern Keeper, and as of today I have 2,016 stitches done of 4,146, so I'm at 48.63%, and the thread I am using for him is not in here, but it is right here. Somehow it came out of the bag. It is Old Harry by Brennan Nettle. And I have another skein, but I don't know that I'll need it. And the words, although I haven't started at them, I picked out this color. I thought that it, did I say who this was by? I don't think I did. It's by Fondly Made, F-A-U-N-D-L-Y, Fondly Made on Etsy, but I don't know that they're on Etsy anymore. But so this color I thought would look nice on that fabric, and it is Cheers Me Dears. Next we have another piece that I didn't spend a whole lot of time on. It is Snail's Garden by Stitch Kitty, and it was found in the March 2014 Cross Stitch and Needlework magazine. I didn't notice until after I started stitching it that there's a bunch of buttons on it, so I have one of them, and I don't know how I ended up with that one, but I may have. But it's this piece. I just thought it was a fun spring, summer piece. But yeah, the bee. This is the one I have. The little moth or butterfly. This little ladybug, and this butterfly, and then a little flower down here. They're all buttons, but the only one I really need to worry about is the B, because it's there as a substitute for the letter B. But I'm sure I will find buttons. So this was started July 30th, 2025, and it's stitched on a 28 count 2/2, and this was in my stash, so I don't know what it is, and I've got like a half a flower. It's going to be a quick, easy stitch, especially the alphabet. I just haven't gotten. I started it and never went back to it. Not sure which one of these. These are both going to be finished very soon. I just pulled them out and I don't know which one goes first. Oh, this one goes first. This is Starlight Snowflake by It's So Emma. This is a pattern I got from a friend. It was started August 27th, 2025. 1/1 on a 28 count. Here is where it looks like, but there are 3 colorways, and I'm actually doing the blue one. And this is a current January WIP. I'm stitching it 1/1 on 28 count even weave. And here is where we are. So I have gone over the halfway mark, because the halfway mark is about in the middle of there. So I've gone over it. So this should be done hopefully by the end of the month or close to it. And if it's close, I'll bring it over into February and finish it then. Really enjoying that one. And then on September the 24th, I started Bloom by Stitching with the Housewives, which is one of their What's in My Cup. This one here. I have 4. I have Mom, Honeybee, this one, and it's for the birds, I think. I think that's all I have, 4 of them. I have stitched the Honeybee twice and the Mom once, and they've all been given as gifts. So this one is actually for me. I'll hopefully get the others stitched at some point. So I am so close to a finish. It's done 2/2 on a 28 count black. So close to finishing it. I have got to finish the yellow flower. I've got to finish the centers of these 3 flowers. And I think that, oh, and there's, I gotta finish this little bee, and there's another little bee over here in the corner, and that's it. That will be finished. I'm stitching it with the called for threads, which are All Classic Colorworks 12 grain, Blushing Beauty, 4-leaf clover, River Rocks, River Rocks, Black Coffee, and I'm hoping my Queen Bee will get me to the end, because I used this on one of their other projects, I believe. And that's one. Next we have another favorite that I need to get back to, but I have a mistake, so I'm putting off getting back to it. This is Enchanted Quaker by Luminous Fiber Arts. Started September 3rd. Sorry, got one out of place. No, yes, because this was September 24th, wasn't it? Yeah, sorry. I'm doing pretty good, I think, to get through without having to stop. And it's done 1/1 on a 32 count piece that I had in my stash, and it was a yellow and green, like a minty green and yellow, and I knew I was never going to stitch on it, so I took it and put it in some Kelly green, and this is what I came up with, which I loved. And so I was trying to decide on a piece, and when we were away last summer, 2024, which I can't believe it's been a year since we were over a year, I went to Gita's and I brought the piece of fabric, and she helped me find this piece, and it's called For 8 Skeins of Black Coffee, or 310. And I'm like, no, I want something fun. Not that black coffee isn't fun, but 8 skeins of it is a bit expensive. So I went down to Brennan Nettle, had a little shop then, and I took the pattern down, and I found this thread, which is called Dark Tickle, and in brackets it's got light, and so it's like a purpley gray and a lighter gray, and so I bought, it's got more thread obviously than Classic Colorworks does, so I bought a few of them, thinking I was going to do it 2/2, and then I started stitching and said, no, I don't like it, it's too thick, so I went with 1/1. So I'm going to have some of this left over for something else. But anyway, here is where I am. So I only have one motif, but there is a mistake in this motif, and I have to figure out where it is and frog it, and I'm not looking forward to that. And it's a good thing I have some extra thread, because I don't want to end up like I did with the Belle Isle Or and not have enough. next we have the one and only full coverage that I started last year, which is the quick stitch. Do I have a cover sheet? Oh no, I have a cover sheet. Oh well, I'll put up a picture because this is not a very good color. I was running out of colored ink when I printed off the cover sheet. So this is Quick Stitch Anna Green Gables Max Color, and it is stitched 1/1 on a 28 count ivory. And like I said, I started it and I think I went back to it once, but I didn't get much done at all. And so I'm just working it into the top green tree. So as of today, I have 705 stitches of 104,190 stitches. I'm at 0.68%. So like I said, with Pride and Prejudice was one of my favorite books. This is my other favorite book. Did I say it's 1/1 on ivory? But anyway, here's where I am, which is not much. It's a whole lot of green, and there's going to be a whole lot of green in that tree. I know some people started it and cropped out the tree, but I didn't want to. So this is not up for the vote. This will not be a focus piece this year. Next we have, I said I've been struggling with. I said to my friend when I was talking about preparing for this, out of all the ones that I started this year, for some reason this is the one that I am struggling to stitch on, and it's only a small piece. It is Christmas Berry by Erica Michaels. I'm doing the bigger one here, the big moose, and I am stitching it. I started it October 8th. I don't know, did I tell you when I started Anna Green Gables? I probably didn't. Now I'm getting into October and I'm faltering. I started Anna Green Gables September 17th. Oh, I really screwed up that one in September. So I started this one October 8th. I'm stitching it 2/2 on a 32 count petite point, the polka dots. Now it called for wool, which I wasn't going to be using, and it called for Gentle Arts, but I am using the DMC. But I'm struggling. I don't know why. Maybe it's because it's brown and I'm not a big brown person, but he's got a head and an antler, so I just have to, like I said, when it comes around in July for my Christmas in July, I will be like I have plans to spin a wheel on this is what I'm stitching on this day, and there's no alternate. So hopefully I will get some progress done on it because I like the strawberries, and like I said, he isn't very big. He's 126 by 72, like he's not that big. But for some reason he didn't call to me at all. Now I have to check the dates and make sure that I'm right, because I've gone to the last few. Okay, so next up is Seaside Tiny Town by Heart and Hand. Started October 15th, 2025. Obviously stitching at 2/2 on a natural brown undyed 32 count. And I love this, and I did pretty good for my start. I just, like I said, was starting stuff, it was getting closer to thinking about Christmas stuff and just didn't get back. So here is where I am. So I got the lighthouse and the seagulls and the first place, and I was stitching on the fish at the top and I had a mistake and I got back and straightened up some of it, but that's where I ended. Really pretty. I love it's anything that's water, sea, those types of things related. I really am planning to do a summer display with like seaside stuff. Okay. Then was Cardinal Kin by Plum Street Sampler. I'm doing I think it's the one. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 1. Oh, I'm doing the DMC. I didn't say that. I'm doing the DMC for Seaside, not the... There was just too many colors where you only needed a little tiny bit, so I said I'm going to do the DMC version, and I'm fine with that. This one I did the specialty thread version, and I started it October 22nd, and it's done 1/1 and 36 count pearl de gray. And this is where I ended up. So the last time I worked on it, I was working on the larger cardinal, and I really like the way it looks. I'm hemming and hawing about doing the border and about turning it into a pillow, because a friend of mine started it with me. She finished hers. Way to go, Michelle. Actually, I'm not sure, 2 of my friends, Sharon, started at the same time. I'm not sure if Sharon finished hers, but I know that Michelle did, and she actually framed it and put it in a little white frame, and I like that idea without the border. Just something different, because it seems like all my little finishes get finished into pillows. We shall see when I get there. So the specialty threads for this one that I'm using, are grits, cayenne, mascara, pea pod, and for some reason I think there's another one that I don't have. No, that's it. So I guess technically it's a winter one, so I should be working on it now, but I know I have it slotted in somewhere. Okay. Oh, the last few are folding. So next up we have, I know why I didn't get as much work done on this, because it was not the right season for it. October 29th I started Hello Summer by Erin Elizabeth. This is my second time stitching this. I stitched this for a swap, and really liked it, and said I'm going to start that for myself. And it's done 2/2 and 28 count taupe, and I got Hello Sum. Hello Sum done, but it's a beautiful piece, another seaside piece, which I love, and I will get back to it. It's later in the year when the weather suits the piece. Oops, sorry about the crinkling of that piece of paper. I hope my pile is growing really, really tall here. Let's hope it doesn't tip. Okay. It's all falling forward now. Let's get this way. Next up, on November 5th, I started the last of my 4 pieces in the A Time for All Seasons series by Cottage Yarn Assemblings. Been working on this, so I'm gonna fold over. You can see the cover. It's Snow Time. Another great piece that I really enjoy stitching on, and it's a January WIP. And I started this, like I said, November 5th. It's done 1/2 on 36 count Winter Moon that I then over dyed with Rit dye with pearl gray, tan, and denim blue. And here is where we are. This one, now the border is pale, and it might be a little bit hard to see. I'll move it up, so hopefully you can see the border. I finished the cardinal on its hat, finished his hat, finished the star, started a little bit on the tree, and started on his face, and I've actually reached the point where his nose is. So I've actually reached this point right here in his face. I haven't got his eyes put in, so it's hard to tell. But love stitching on this. Can't wait to get it finished so I can have all 4 pieces. I have my finishing piece. I showed it in a few videos ago. I have kind of finished the spring, for signs of spring, and the summer strawberry harvester, I can't remember. And then I have the fabric to fully finished October 31st. I just haven't done right that. I have to finish stitching this, and then I have to put it all together. Okay. On November 19th, I started Jingle All the Way by Little House Needleworks, and I'm stitching it 2/2 on 30 count Portobello. And a little start on it, not much. So here is where we are. So I got the little top border done and this snowflake, and I have got that's a chimney, and I've just started on the snow on the roof of the house right here. So I've got that little border done all the way across. This snowflake I just started on the house, and I'm actually using the DMC for this instead of the classic Colorworks, and I changed to the red. They had 918, which to me was really orangey, so I changed it to, I think, 815. I haven't written it down, but I think it's 815, right? Or 816, one of those. Next up, on November the 26th, I started Fa La La by Hello from Liz Matthews, which is this piece here. Doing it 2/2 on a 28 count white linen. I changed my colors. I'll show you. Well, I'll show you where I am. Ooh, oh, all the colors just hit the floor. So this is where I am. So really cute piece, really fun to stitch, and really like working on it. Oh. The only color that I left, no, I think I changed them all. So the bows are done with Raven, and then everything else, the letters and the ornaments, are Lanesa by Brandon Nettle. I hope that's how I pronounce it. It's no, oh, hopefully you can see it. Lanesa. I think that's how, or Lanasa. Then Louisiana Hot Sauce. Yule by Brennan Nettle. Pine Needles. And Cypress, which I hope that will get me through. It should. I got the ornament that called for that done, so I've only, if I decide to do one of the laws at the bottom, that's the only thing I have left to do on that. Since I didn't do for the Fa La La, I just put whatever color I wanted in whatever order. I didn't like do a 1-for-1 on the, and then on December 17th, I started pattern, sorry, Creepy Crawly Alphabet by Emily Call, Salt and Pepper on Etsy, and I'm doing it 2/2 on a 28 count, which I would call natural. I don't think it was a scrap from my piano fabric, and this is where I got all the way across the last one. Yep, all the way across the alphabet on the top. Another fun, quick one, the alphabet. The spider will probably be the only part of that will be any kind of work. And then my last WIP, which I started on Christmas Eve, I believe it was, yes. And then I said I went to my mom's for Christmas Eve night and left it home. So I didn't get much of a start. This is a January WIP as well. So it's this one, Winter Row by Beck Creek. Stitched on a unknown blue even weave using the GMC called for. And this is a January WIP as well. And here's where I am. So I started on the alphabet this week. So getting that will go quickly. The alphabet until I get to the next snowman, which will slow me down, but all the way. And that is all of my WIPs going into 2026. That's me. I'm just gonna get them all into my bin, or as many as I can into my bin. That's all I'm going to get in there. Just gonna put this down. The rest of them out of the way. I need my notes back. And as I said, this is my 4th Flossaversary. I thank you all that have subscribed to my channel. I am at 850-ish subscribers. I would love to get to 900 by the end of this year. So if you're new and haven't subscribed, I would really appreciate it if you do. If you like and share my channel with your friends, that would be wonderful. I have some giveaways and a piece I've stitched that I want to give away as well. I don't remember what that's called. Now brain is. So please be a subscriber. Please like the video. Please be over 18. Please do not use any of the bot triggering words. You know the spiel. Please vote for whichever full coverage piece that you would like me to focus on when I'm finished River's Edge, which, if all my plans go correctly, will be at the end of May. Fingers crossed. So I have time to get it framed before Aaron's birthday. And just use the numerical 1, 2, 3, or 4. I have three brand new charts and a past the stash. That's what I was trying to think of earlier. So just 1, 2, 3, or 4. And I would like your next full coverage focus to be Hometown Baseball, Beachcomber, Snowflake Wonder, Pride and Prejudice, Warm at Home, or Queen of Hearts. So first up, please excuse my French, this is Mouton de Noël, which means Christmas sheep, I believe, by Tralala. So this, hopefully you can, I'm going to take it out of the plastic because there's such a glare. Sorry. So, Mouton de Noël, number 1. That's cute. Santa riding a sheep. Paulina. That's number 1. Number 2, I also have to take out the plastic. It is Stitching with the Housewives Trucking January. Where's that? So that is number 2. This is a piece that has been in my stash forever. I guess it's a past the stash as well. It's never been stitched. It's brand new. It is Lavender Wings, which I do not think is a company that produces stitching now, and it is called Woolly Mittens. So there is that one. Hopefully you can see. Oh, so that is number 3. And number 4, which is truly the past the stash, because I did finish stitch and finish this one this year, is Good Things by Lizzie Kate. There is a bend in it, but it is not affecting the reading of the pattern at all. You can't even tell on the inside that there is a bend. So that is number 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And don't forget to vote for your full coverage that you want me to focus on. All right, I think that is everything. Thanks, everyone. Oh, I'm doing a regular floss tube next weekend, but because I know not everybody gets to watch a video right away, I will hold off until my following regular video, so in 3 weeks, to announce the winners. But you must comment on this video. You must answer the question, I guess, of which full coverage would you like me to focus on, and then pick which ones you want. All right, we'll see you guys next week. Have a great day. Bye.